Hey, we actually did something that worked.
I hope so.
I hope so too. So we should be live on YouTube, Twitter, and Odyssey. Odyssey is our latest platform that we've been integrated into, similar to YouTube, but it is very crypto friendly. You can earn, what are they, Odyssey rewards or Odyssey tokens? Is that how it is?
It's a library.
Library. Oh, it's library.
LBC.
LBC. Is that why we're getting our own LBC machine?
It's part of the reason, yes. Yeah.
It's a cool platform. If you haven't seen it already, I encourage you guys to go check it out. We're trying to, little by little, every live stream, try to incorporate some new features, trying to be a little bit more professional, a little bit more organized, because we're not organized at all. So we can actually throw comments up on the live stream. The first comment of the stream is from Gandalf. Thanks, Gandalf. Figure stuff out. We're working on it. One baby steps.
Yeah, for real.
So, but I think this needs to be running on the bottom at all times, just so people don't get confused. Just a couple random guys on YouTube sharing our journey. I wonder how Twitter looks. Let's see.
I think that we should put that under there, under the banner. Or like after, we are not financial advisors and this is not financial advice. We're just a couple guys on the internet.
A couple schmucks with cameras.
Oh.
I'll have to incorporate that for the next one.
Right.
So I'm trying to keep track of everything. I got too many screens going on. I think I got to rotate some things around here. Let's make it a little more organized for the stream. There we go. That looks better. All right. Comments. Perfect. There you go, Mark. Here's one for you. This has been a hot topic for you lately.
What do you think the SEC/LBC lawsuit will mean for library? Well, it means that they're an unregistered security, so they have some hoops to jump through. One of the reasons I made a post on our Discord channel, and I was actually going to be making this as soon as we got the actual machine. We are going to start supporting library by mining library token. So we just recently acquired a LB Lite. We should have it in a couple weeks, hopefully faster than that. It's thought-wise, like it cripples the crypto industry. Like I want government, SEC, regulation, all that fun stuff. Doesn't belong here. We're very transparent. The bad actors will show who the bad actors are. Library is not a bad actor, but at the end of the day, they did things that would technically consider them, as a security. Now us, we created our own token, so we can use that as a learning lesson, right? So there are some things as we get into our token near the end of the stream here that we'll go over and kind of what are we doing different, type things. So I think that it is a hindrance. I think that the SEC is going to be very annoying until the current head is out of there. But you also have to factor in, like, the head really isn't the guy making the decisions. Like, the people that are at the SEC are the ones always making the decision. Like, once the guy's out, and they have a new head of the SEC in there, the people below him that actually make the calls and, look at all the other stuff, settle the fines, lawsuits, all that bull crap, they're still going to be there. So they're just the voice of everything. And the current one we have right now is extremely annoying.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, the library is not the first crypto to be hit with something, with a lawsuit. I think this is just the start of it. I think we're going to see more coming down the kind of the pipeline here. Um, I agree and disagree a little bit with Mark. I think that regulations are not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's going to weed out a lot of the lower, bad guys, if you will. But it's no news is bad news kind of situation. It's just going to bring cryptocurrency more into the mainstream, and that's what we need for mass adoption. Whether we're talking, poorly about it or positively about it, we need to start talking more about it. And this is one way of doing it and getting it out there. The top 50 coins or so, I think, are going to be around for a while. Top 20 coins, top 10 coins. It's all the little guys that are going to be, dropping off in the next couple of years, in my opinion. So I'm curious to see how things go and how things are perceived and moving forward with different regulations with the SEC trying to get involved and other governments where more third world countries are considered third world countries are mass adopting cryptocurrencies to bail themselves out. So I'm curious to see what the future holds for this industry. I mean, we're in it for the long haul. Being coastal crypto mining, we branded ourselves with crypto in our name right from the get-go, and banks don't like that. So we're definitely 100% in it. So we'll see what happens moving.
Facts. John brought up the top currencies, like the top 50. If and not that CoinMarketCap would ever, watch or listen to anything that we're broadcasting, but if they happen to, can they please delist all the stable coins out of the top 10? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Technically, yes, they're crypto, but come on. It's supposed to be $1 or around there. So, and it, pegged to a US dollar equivalent of something. It's not a crypto. Get it out of the top 10.
Yeah, I think a more focus on decentralization is going to be kind of the push for the next, 5-10 years for sure.
Absolutely.
Jet says howdy.
Howdy, Jet.
Demining, I'll be up 10% today. That's always good to hear. I think regulations need to happen to progress forward. Yeah, we're on the same page. I think regulations don't have to be a bad thing. I think we're going to see some bad regulations pop up, but I think that we have a voice, and this past couple of years have definitely proven to me and to others that our voice can be heard when we speak in mass. So we see a regulation pop up that we don't like, voice our opinion, voice our concerns, reach out to your local representatives, and really push it. So I think it's just a step in the right direction, whether it's a good regulation or bad regulation. New England Crypto, welcome to the chat, welcome to the channel. Been doing some stuff with you and getting you some equipment. Appreciate you. Team my brother. There you go.
I know, like 2 peas in a pod, those two.
It's funny, but Mark and I have access to the Twitter account, so I constantly get notifications. He's a couple hours behind me. I'm on the East Coast, so I can see Mark going back and forth with everybody. When I'm trying to get to sleep, my phone keeps going ding, ding, ding. Like having the same conversation with 2 different guys is pretty funny. I think let's just jump right to it. Taking a look at our title, if you will, and our thumbnail, kind of a funny. I don't know. You think it's funny? I think it's funny. Calling out other cryptocurrency YouTubers and everything else, and Twitter and everything. Call us out, guys. If you catch us saying something that comes back to bite us, it's all fun. We don't mean anything by it. When we're calling somebody out, it's just funny to get banned by somebody that's in the same space as us.
Well, I know that you were not very happy about it. But
he's close to our region, to where we are on the East Coast. That's the only concern I have. Not that he's going to come looking for us, but I don't know. It was funny, and at the same time, we're from a business standpoint, we got to be careful. But from a personal standpoint, it was hilarious.
Do we want to show them the tweet?
Yeah, go for it. You want to send it over to me?
Oh, I guess I would have to send that over, right? Okay.
Hold on, I might be able to find it on Discord. If you guys aren't on our Discord server, there should be a link in the description down below to join in. If you'd like to join in on the conversation on any one of our live streams, message me on Discord or in the chat, and I'll can always invite you in and join the conversation with us anytime.
Actually,
Who's
no,
talking crap?
I don't think I took a screenshot of it. Did I? Oops, that's not it. That's
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got it here for you. Hold on one second. There we go. Let me share my screen. If I can figure out how to do this, present, share screen. There we go.
Yeah.
And it's got lovely snowflakes from our background. It just looks so nice.
Yeah, but let's actually see if he still has the tweet up.
I think the tweet got taken down.
Because it did not. And there we are. All right, let me just snapshot it real quick. No, actually delete this screenshot. Let me take a picture of the actual tweet that I responded to. This is all my doing, by the way, so we can should have been more prepared, honestly. Damn it.
That's all right. We both represent Coastal Crypto as the owners, so it is what it is. And then, you weren't in the wrong in calling him out. I mean, if you're gonna, I wouldn't consider us influencers. We don't have a huge following to be influencers, but somebody like Vosk, somebody like BitBoy that has hundreds of thousands of followers, who has millions of followers in some cases, you got to be careful in what you say and who you support and what you do. I know that we all have to pay bills and we have to, support ourselves and things like that. I know a lot of times that, the paycheck and the number of zeros looks real appealing, but, don't sell yourself out, don't compromise your values. It's a tough industry, and I know things get expensive, but so this was the original tweet, correct?
Yeah, that's the one he did.
Yeah, crap.
So he made a YouTube thumbnail that said, crypto.con, like crypto.com is actually conning everybody. Which, I mean, honestly, they're a larger exchange. And I put a tweet out there too, like, the big guys, the staples in the crypto community, even though they are centralized, they go down. It's not good for crypto.
Yeah. So he supported FTX, and then he bashed Coastal, then he bashed CRO, I don't know.
Who he took a sponsorship from, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we've avoided doing anything like that, so we don't have that kind of pressure or that, that backlash. Some of my earlier videos that are still up on this channel, when I was talking about finance before Coastal Crypto, that's all stuff that I did on my own outside of Coastal Crypto, and they were topics that were hot in a niche market for YouTube at the time. Are some of those things still there? Sure. Are they valid? Maybe. Are they maybe controversial now? Absolutely. But you got, you're going to say it. You're going to be out there for the internet. It never goes away, and people forget that stuff that they post online. I don't know. I could go on, but it's probably a mute topic. I'll start sounding like an old guy.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we're not perfect here at Coastal Crypto, but we do strive to be as transparent as possible. And like John said, if you see some BS that we're throwing in, call us out on it. We're definitely not going to block you for it, but we may give you some shit back, or at least I will. I don't know.
But
So
we expect it back too. I mean, we're thick-skinned. We can take a joke. Bring it on. You want to call us out? We encourage you to call us out. That's how we learn, and we can do better and better provide a quality service for everybody.
I am checking the auction houses for the Bitcoin Supra, though.
Ouch. Oh man, that's all right. So yeah. he had great videos in the beginning. I don't want to bash the guy completely. I mean, something happened maybe behind the scenes that we're not all seeing. I got to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. He's put out some great tutorials towards the beginning of his YouTube career, but definitely has become more negative as of late. I don't know if it's because he's dumped a bunch of money and he's lost a bunch of money, but it's unfortunate. I hope he doesn't stay bitter forever.
Yeah, so we thought it was funny. It's kind of big news to us, so we thought we would mention it in our live stream as we're giving updates what's going on with coastal crypto. So for those of you that are new here, what we do with these live streams is basically we talk about things that we have experience, we're doing. We give updates on our specific mine, what we're doing. We're basically a built from the ground up cryptocurrency mine. We're still scaling. We started in the bull run at the very end, and now pushing it through the bear run or the bear market. And yeah, we're just showing you what we're doing and how we're doing it to scale. Everything is not efficient. We're going to be wrong sometimes. We're going to be right some other times. We're troubleshooting how we're setting up. Bringing you guys along with us and our clients.
One of the big things that we've been working on and researching, this is a constantly evolving ecosystem, cryptocurrency, right? So to be efficient, to be better adapted to rising electrical costs in systems, Mark and I have been hitting the books the past couple of days and weeks, trying to get some more power and other things, on the ground for our customers and bigger customers that we have lined up. One of the things is a Bess system, BESS. A lot of bigger farms are doing this, and not a lot of people are talking about it. So I thought we'd bring it up, or Mark wanted to bring it up in this live stream. Let me share my screen again for everybody. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. So this is just an example of a Bess container opened up. It's ideally a giant battery cell. What companies are doing is they're using these large battery cells to what's called peak shave to get down to these lower rates. A lot of places across the U.S. Have off-peak and on-peak rates. And for example, Virginia has a 63% off-peak rate. So for 63% of the week, the rate is lower. But if you are continually running that rate or that consumption throughout the day, they're going to jack your rate up and you're going to be paying the higher rate, even though it's being used less often. So a lot of companies are peak shaving and storing power, charging batteries at night and running machines off of them during the day. This is just one company that we've been kind of digging into. There are a couple other ones. Tesla's has systems. There are systems all over the place for these batteries. It's just finding the right scenario to get things going and running properly. The tricky thing is to run, say, a 5 megawatt system, you'd have to have close to 11 megawatts worth of batteries stored up. It's cleaner power because you're scrubbing the power going through the batteries, but they're expensive. It's depending on who you get them from. We've seen quotes for $1 million a megawatt or $1 million a container, down to $500,000 a container. So they're not cheap units.
No, they're not. And so we're in the search of them. We thought, bringing it up, showing you guys what they are, maybe someone watching the live stream after the fact, might help point us in a direction. We are working with our suppliers trying to obtain this kind of container. But again, we're getting quotes, $500,000, $1 million, and it just seems unreasonable.
Yeah, the battery technology, although advances have been made, haven't really caught up to the demand of what's out there. I mean, we're looking at alternative sources outside of a Bess system. Converting an older diesel generator to on biodiesel or natural gas, or black diesel. There's all sorts of alternatives out there that we're looking at, so we can, get our hands on some of that off-peak rate. And it's a substantial. I mean, I encourage you guys to do your research in your local areas and ask your power companies what your off-peak rate is, because a lot of times it's a good chunk of change difference. Maybe a couple cents, 3-4 cents in some places. So it's definitely something to look into if you guys are serious about mining and you're trying to amp up your farm. It's definitely something that we're trying to implement and figure out. The way it works here in Virginia, where our main farm is, they have a credit for your kilowatt hours. So, for example, if we had a solar system, it is a 1-to-1 credit system. If we don't use everything the solar panels are pulling, it gets put back on the grid, and we can use the grid as a battery system. And when we need to pull power, it's a 1-to-1. So we're not charged for the power that we've put back to the grid. It's just given back to us on a credit. So there are systems, and there are a lot of plans and stuff like that across the country. You just got to reach out to some of your local power companies and really push them hard to give you the answer, because they don't like to give this stuff up. We didn't get this information until we finally got a representative from the power company, because we were talking about, adding substations and dropping major transformers on properties, that we finally were able to get some decent answers. I'm trying to keep up with some of these comments over here too. I don't know where I left off. So the last one I see here is New England Crypto says he's from Rhode Island. Don't pay you for credit. You for anything you push back to the grid. Yeah, New England's difficult. I'm originally from Boston. I know the Boston tax credits for power consumption and solar suck. I mean, it's Taxachusetts right off the bat. So trying to figure out some kind of power situation, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, that whole area is going to be tough. So power to you, New England Crypto, for really pushing hard for trying to be in the crypto space up north. It's difficult, man, I'm sure.
Jet had this question that I think we missed. Not sure. What's the best immersion fluid?
So we're going to be biased. If you didn't catch the last live stream, we are partnered with DCX, and DCX has their own immersion fluid. I'm going to pull it up here on the website. Let's see here. Shop. So you can go right to our website and get some of the information for DCX if you want to. But they have their own immersion fluid. It is a biodegradable fluid. I mean, it's like similar to mineral oil. It's safe for the environment. That's the ones those are the fluids that we're recommending. Primarily, we're very supportive of DCX, but any dielectric fluid that is biodegradable is a plus in my book. Some of these other companies out there that are using alternative immersion fluids, you have to be very careful with them. You have to add antifungals and everything else, and you can't, you can't just drain it or dump it down the drain. It has to be, outsourced and pulled out and recycled and all that stuff. But this stuff, if it spills, you have a massive leak or whatever it happens, it is biodegradable and safe. So that's one of the main reasons why we like DCX, is because they are really promoting alternatives to crypto space and trying to revamp a lot of the negativity that surrounds mining, or on mining on a big scale.
A lot of chat back and forth. You
Yeah.
just want to start diving into just basically what's going on with the mine?
Sure. Let's see. Well, do you want to cover the containers first, and then go into the mine?
Yeah, because that kind of goes in hand to hand.
Okay. Back and forth to sharing screens and not sharing screens. So we've been doing, or Mark has been doing, some major research and has found a supplier for mining containers at a reasonable price for once. You want to go into it, Mark, and I'll kind of scroll through the pictures?
Yeah, shoot. You put me on the spot here. So the mining container holds roughly about 180 S19 type machines. It's a little bit more than that, but just I'm rounding for basics. This particular container that he's showing is a 20-foot container that is roughly 1.2 megawatts worth of power. It's set up. If you notice in the first picture, there is Ethernet cables. They got PDUs lined up. It's essentially plug and play for the most part, for the exception of your, hooking it up to, a transformer that can at least handle 1.2 megawatts worth of power.
Yeah.
It looks very spacious for being a container. After doing a little bit more research, this eerily looks very similar to the containers that BBT got. So I'm thinking that they might be the same container. The only thing that's really missing, in my opinion, are just some high flow exhaust fans. But we can get those. A few $100, pop them on the back, suck the air out, and keep things rolling. But I think they're pretty good. This 20-foot container itself, I want to say that we're roughly at about 40. That price might be a little off, but if anybody's catching this at any point and they're in the market for a container, just hit us up and I can actually give you a quote. Just like everything else, things change every single day. So
yeah, well, we're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for once for a crypto container. These things are reasonably priced. They're built reasonably well. As I'm looking through it, like coming from a metal fabrication background, I'm looking for structural decay. I'm looking for structural integrity as they're cutting holes in the side. As they're cutting holes from the fans, as I'm looking at it, they've made sure not to cut too much away from the sidewalls to reduce the structural integrity of the actual container, because these things are shipping from, they're on the back of a boat or on the back of a truck. They're bouncing around. So you cut giant holes in the side of a shipping container, you're losing the structural integrity of it. I like the fact that they've put the switch gear in the center of the miner instead of all the way at one side. So they're utilizing the entire wall for miners in a small 20-foot container. The 40 foots are a little bit different, but I like the layout on the 20s. I think they utilize the space a lot better, in my opinion. And you kind of see, as one door open here, kind of see the rack kind of looking in, and you can see that they left some struts here on the inside, or they've reinforced sections of the side that they cut out for ventilation, to ensure that structural integrity of the container itself. And then, I kind of see a little bit better picture of the switch gear here. Obviously, the switch gear is going to differ a little bit depending on where this thing is going, where it's being installed, and what transformers you're using. But the overall switchgear cabinet size is a standard size. You can fit it in within reason. So it's nice to see that it's there. All the wires are going underneath and coming up into the mining rack, and wire management is a big pet peeve of mine, even though I'm really bad at it. It's nice to see it's already being done. So.
Yeah, running those Ethernet cables, that's it's such a pain in the ass. So the fact that they have that already pre-wired and you can see them all just hanging down, that's amazing. That right there is a huge selling point for me on these containers. Now the fact is, just yeah, the reason we're bringing the containers up and the reason we're searching for like the best system, things like that. If you guys haven't caught the last stream, we're working on something a little bit bigger than our current location. Right now we're in a 25,000 square foot building. We have just under a megawatt worth of power. It's not enough. We've already tapped it out. We started to ask the power company for an upgrade. And it's kind of just leading into our next thing, obviously with mine updates. And we've started looking for an alternative. We're not ready to really go out and say exactly what that alternative is until we have it completely locked down. But we do have an alternative we're working on, which involves a lot of the machines being outside. So the bigger stuff being outside. So we're looking at containers. We're looking at these Bess systems. So we can start doing peak shaving and getting rates down, basically forcing them down through instead of the negotiating a power with the power company. We're trying to put things a little bit more in our hands, in our favor, versus the power company just doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, they depending on where you live, the power company can kind of get you by the short and curlies, hold you over a barrel.
Yeah. I mean, we've already witnessed through other YouTubers, they had a rate locked in with the power company, and then all of a sudden, shock and surprise, the rate didn't change, but they added all these, stupid fees, things like that, on top of it. Yeah, whatever other different mechanical fees that they're putting on because, there was an emergency in the area or whatever, is going on locally to them. So we're trying to put the power back into our hands as much as we can. In doing this, we have started. We linked up with a couple people locally to the mine. They know a little bit more industrial things, network opportunities, things like that. That where we've started to look down this rabbit hole of peak shaving and alternate systems. Like John said earlier, diesel generators, these Bess systems, if we can get some type of battery backup system going and things like that.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's been interesting reading and learning about all this new stuff. I mean, from the very beginning, we've always talked about figuring out a way to become a more green, sustainable company. Primarily where we are in Virginia, it's got hydro dams. It's not a coal run facility, which is nice, like say Western Virginia or some of these other states around me. So being on hydro is very interesting to see the power demand and just the drive behind some of these larger miners that are actually reaching out to us. We haven't advertised about any of our power, but we're getting contacted because we're in a hydro area or hydro-powered area, and then we're trying to offset some of that hydro cost, that green power from the grid, by using batteries and solar and wind and our own hydro plants and everything else. So taking back the powers is key for anybody that's trying to get into mining on any kind of decent scale. It's fun to play with machines, and sometimes you can get lucky and get in on a bear market and ride the bull market with a high-powered machine. But a lot of times, a lot of guys are catch up with the machines and ROIing and overly focusing on ROI. So we're trying to focus on power and getting the power rate down, so ROI isn't as big of a deal to us. It's more about, keeping the lights on.
I was actually just going to go down the chain of, so you're just referencing that one comment, right?
What comment?
Oh, hold on. Let's pull up something. So Integra Guy says, I have a variable rate in Illinois. Sometimes goes negative at night. Got to figure out how to capitalize on that, dude. The next one. Yeah, the next one is you have to look at ROI for any system. Peak shaving is the best way for payback. Yes, we've said in past streams, like me and John are way past ROI at this point. Like since we're in this for the long run, ROI is great. Like if we can figure out a way to get paid back immediately on something, that's fine and dandy. But we are buying machines in the bull market. We haven't ROI'd on those. We're buying machines in the bear market, and we ROI'd on those yesterday. So there's we're in it for the long run. So when we're buying, the rack system, a Bess system, things like that, ROI is the last thing on our mind. It's how much capacity can we get and how do we tap it out immediately? Yeah. We were just joking the other day because some of the things that we do have in the works is going to be giving us an ample amount of power, more than we already have. The electric company came back with a number that, we really haven't entertained before, power wise. And I'm talking substantial power, Texas size power, think big. And yeah. And I'm like, dude, don't tell me that, because I'm going to come. John knows me already. Like every step we've taken, we're like, all right, let's just take a little slow. And we are really, that's the reason why we're holding back as to what we're doing right now, is we're really trying to take this slow and do it right this time. I said, don't tell me that we can get this kind of power, because I'm going to, try to find a way for us to tap it and then add an additional, because it's technically what we've done with our current situation.
Yeah, we're we've gone through 2 transformers and 3 fuses at our current location, and I'm tiptoeing around. We finally were able to get some transformers or some power back on in the building, and I'm tiptoeing around the power company. I'm turning a machine on here, waiting to see what happens. Turning a machine on here, waiting to see what happens. Trying to load balance the best I can. And Mark's going over there, fuck it, let's just wing it, turn it all on, see what happens. I can't do it.
We can't do it anymore. We blew 2 transformers. The second transformer, we're just like, okay, we've upset the power company, our representative, and the engineers that have been working on our upgrade for this building. They were not pleased with us whatsoever.
So you want to keep going through the comments?
Yeah, so Eris is here. What's up, Eris? I hope we kind of refresh a little bit back, but go ahead and watch it. We're just giving updates and going over things. Maintenance on generators is super expensive. Yes, we know. So we're really trying to hone that in on like some used military generators. But we also kind of maybe want like one that are in like was like a tractor bed, basically. It basically in a big rig, a 40-foot container, something like that. We can keep dust free, things like that. Worse, a lot of back and forth. SOT's issue with Texas, negotiate with a lawyer, and peak shaving. Yes, absolutely. On-site energy generators, which again, that's we're looking for. Natural gas kits.
No, automation is a big thing when it comes to that stuff too, guys. It's not just, you can't just plop down a generator and hope that it's going to work, or put a couple of solar cells down or batteries and try to do some peak shaving. Automation is really expensive when you get up to these larger numbers. Automated switch gears and transformers to really capitalize on off peak is big. There are some not commercial, but residential size panels that Mark and I have looked at, or tried to figure out what ways to upscale that some of you guys could take advantage of if you're trying to get into peak shaving. You would just have to upgrade, your panel in your house to these smarter panels, and it definitely would help out. Being able to set timers for the mining equipment in the garage on your phone is pretty cool. So if that's the direction you want to go into, I definitely would look up some smart panels and see what's out there. I mean, I know they're expensive, but they may save you some time at the end of the day. So who knows? What food for thought? What else you got, Mark?
I guess my camera's all messed up, so I'm trying to fix that. Cables, feeders. Okay.
I'm not getting any warnings on my end except from Eris.
Yeah. I know I'm a little slow on mine. I probably, all those graphics cards that I have here, I honestly should put like a decent one in the thing.
It might help,
Oh, it says it's on. I don't know. Let's see. So I guess just to recap, update on the mine. We're at 70% right now, roughly. I think John mentioned that earlier. And, he's flirting with balancing and trying to get things up and running. It's just one of those things. I honestly don't expect us to be 100% until we make some changes, and we're looking at our big scheme that we were being really vague on.
Yeah, it's I would love to just talk about it, but I can already hear Mark yelling at me after the stream if I bring something up. So gotta be careful. If you're in the know, you know. So let's just leave it at that. Jump around a little bit. This is something that we didn't put in our description to really talk about, but it is kind of mine related, equipment related. We are finally on or recognized as trusted vendors on Mine the ASIC.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to ASIC miner value. I actually prefer the layout of Mine the ASIC, and I haven't seen as many bug issues with them. Let me see if I can pull it up here for us real quick. So we did get listed. It does have our business phone number on there. It's got a couple more features. I mean, I know they're still building it out, but it's nice to see. Just it looks cleaner to me than the ASIC miner value. They're definitely focusing on trying to make sure that these numbers are correct. Mark and I are on notification with each other when something goes wrong with ASIC miner value, because then our website blows up when like the KA3 says it's doing $100 a day for some random reason. Just that the numbers don't always add up on the site, but we haven't seen that issue with Mine the ASIC, so we haven't checked it out. Go support them. There's a list of other supported vendors. It's nice to see us close to the top of the list, being one of the only U.S. suppliers. I guess we're resellers. So it was cool to see. I mean, a lot of our hard work is finally starting to be recognized, and nice to finally see. It was cool to have them actually reach out to us versus ASIC miner value, who just kind of blows us off.
Seriously. Doesn't even return our emails.
Right. Well, they're probably going to spam in their defense. So,
all right, so we do have a question here. What are your guys' opinion on the L7? Will it be profitable for long? Will a new miner be released and beat it? Is it a good purchase long term? In my opinion, which my opinion doesn't really matter.
Sure it does, Mark. We care about your opinion.
Yeah, I think the L7 will be fine until the next bull run, and even then, it still will be fine. There are some things in the work with third-party firmwares that are coming out that is going to make it more efficient. So keep an eye on that. With updates from the last that I heard, one of them is in beta stage. So we should be able to have that one probably hit the market pretty soon for the L7. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's going to be like the L3, right? Like, so the L3 was popular. It was efficient. It was efficient enough to survive the beginning of this last bull run. But then the L7 came out, and now it's the big guy. It's the one. So yes to all those questions.
Yeah, it's efficient until it's not. And then that just pushes companies like Hive to and MSK to make third-party firmware. We've been hounding our contact, trying to get some of that beta firmware so we can at least see what it looks like. They've been talking about it for a while, so hopefully we'll see something soon. But we probably won't see something until it's profitable for them, which means we won't see it until the next bull market.
Yeah. So FPGAs for Caspa, those are the next evolution. Everything's graphics cards, all that fun stuff. I am in the search for FPGAs, some reliable ones, something maybe like an FK33. That's the lower end, but there are some other ones like the C1100 that we might be able to get. And Xilinx also makes an FPGA. So the claim is on the Xilinx, it's almost like 4 gigahash at a couple hundred watts. It's pretty impressive when I first saw the somebody talking about it. But I haven't found anybody reliable yet. I know that SOT is in the works with talking with somebody. I don't know exactly all the details, and he may not. It's yeah, exactly. Take my money. Yes. So with the FPGAs, we're looking for a source. Trying to see if we can get some feedback from SOT on if he possibly might have a source or not. And basically, we're gonna jump into the FPGA realm once we have something solid, and we're gonna mine Caspa with it, and take the evolution to the next step. As to the E300, I don't know, man. Osprey looks very sketchy to me. I know people have put money down on trying to get miners from them. I'm not willing to risk $5K to do that. That's tough, man. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, taking a step back from FPGAs, you've been playing with a new graphics card for us, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I forgot to take a picture of. Yeah, so we got our hands on some CMP 90HX. They're not ideal for mining Caspa, but they do roughly a half a gigahash, 522 and some change at 150 watts. So it's not terrible. They're built for memory intensive algorithms, so they're going to thrive on things like ETC and Ergo and things like that. But we're really not focused on those algorithms at the moment. Like we're trying to fill our bag for Caspa, as we've said in previous streams, and we're going to be holding on to those for the long run for the next bull run too, because essentially they're going to be efficient on anything that comes up through the next bull run.
Yeah.
When
we'll come back to your question about CCM token, Eris. We'll get back to it towards the end. So don't worry, man. We didn't forget about you. Closet Miner says FK33, so it can get his hands on them. They're out of business. Yes, we know, but we're working on some contacts that may have a bulk supply of them. Just trying to get our hands on some at a reasonable price without breaking the bank.
Yeah, because honestly, right now, people know what's coming, and they're it's like graphics cards all over again during the bull market.
Take it easy, New England Crypto. Saw your tweet there. You're taking off. Hopefully, I didn't miss you. I had a C1100. Virium did 4.3 gigs at 115 watts. Decent.
It's a little bit more indecent, but
so. Is there anything else we needed to cover before we jump into the main? Well, not the main topic, but something that we need to talk about. Let's see here. Go through my notes. I think that, without going into too much detail, I think the mine updates. We're working on it, guys. If you're hosting with us, thank you for being patient. Thank you for being understanding. We are a growing cryptocurrency company in a realm that doesn't like cryptocurrency.
Yeah, right.
So we're fighting the good fight. We're putting our best foot forward. I'm now on the board for economic development in Roanoke and Virginia. So trying to rub elbows with the higher ups and make sure that everybody is happy and isn't complaining about noise or heat or brownouts or whatever we may cause in the future.
Right.
So, but no, thank you guys. In all seriousness, if you're hosting with us, you're a client of ours. Thanks for being patient and working with us. Or if you're just buying equipment from us, thank you. Honestly.
Will Bitcoin difficulty continue to drop? So it recently dropped a little over 7%. That we know of. That is correlation to the current price of Bitcoin. And just mines are shutting down, liquidating. A lot of things are happening to the big guys in the industry. Will it keep going down? No. Long run, it is going to continue to rise. The closer we get to the halving, the more it will get. You also have to take in consideration as we get to that halving, it's not just difficulty that's going to be affecting things. So the halving's coming up and the reward will be cut in half for every found block. So if that's the case, there is a likelihood, your machines are essentially, they become half as efficient. So the halving is a big deal. It will spike difficulty because as people realize they're not getting paid as much, then we're going to have the manufacturers coming in, Bitmain, What's Miner, Canon at the Avalon maker, making new,
those guys.
making new, more efficient machines. Which Bitmain's already doing. Like they're launching a 255 terahash S19 here soon. They're going to be launching new, bigger, better, more efficient machines. Things. It's just the turning cycles of everything.
We're on the cusp of another mining evolution or another step, in my opinion. Not to cut Mark off. Sorry, Mark. Where we're definitely seeing, especially on our end, talking to suppliers and trying to source equipment. Some of them are pushing a lot of hydro systems. When we first started, hydro was just being hinted at. Now, What's Miner has a hydro miner, and we know Bitmain has the S19 hydro. So I think that's going to be the next step, really pushing these 7 nanometer chips to the limits before we see an even bigger jump in hashing power. And it's just trying to keep the status quo, trying to keep that stable line of income versus hashing power. The hashing power goes up to try to compensate for the fact that the halving is happening and it's becoming more difficult. So I'm curious to see what the future holds.
Yeah. Bitcoin halving. It's around June of 2024. So that's definitely when the next bull market will be. Eris, I can fix that for you in Hive. So we'll get that to later. He asked why Hive OS only shows 3 days. It's a paid feature function. We just need to switch your paid feature on. Optical is the future. I know, mining with lasers. That's going to be crazy. I don't know about hydro. Hydro may not be the future, but
it's a step. It's a step to a certain point. People are going to utilize the cheapest avenue that they can get their hands on, and as hydro becomes more efficient and less expensive, they're going to flock to it until laser becomes less expensive and more efficient, and people will jump on that. Now, it's all about how much you're willing to fork out of your pocket and how much money they can squeeze out of you.
Yeah. So Gandalf, it's possible that the current gen machines will stay relevant as we move through the next bull run with BTC price increase. It is possible. The L3 was proof that can happen. But I mean, as the bull run's kicking off, at that point it's time to sell and wait to get more efficient.
And I'm sick of the L3, by the way.
Sick of it. I
know we cut our teeth on it, but I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I have been over the L3 forever. We have not mined on an L3 at our mine for quite some time. It's been months. I would say almost a year. And I'm not 100% on that, but yes, the machine is outdated, inefficient. It is time to move on. If you're a hobbyist, you're picking up a couple, make it efficient, but definitely hodl that thing until the next bull run and let it rip. Get it out. There are better machines, man.
Yeah, I think a contender to kind of really put the nail in the coffin for the L3 and the L3++ is going to be the Blue Star L1.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's going to put the nail in the coffin for the L5 that we found, the X5, LT5. It's a newer machine, less miles on it, less hours on it, if you will, and it's outperforming a lot of these other guys. So. It's not an L7, but it's definitely up there with, because of how new it is in terms of release it in manufacturing. So, but done with the L3s.
On that note, let us talk about CCM token. Not too many updates with the token, but we are working on it. The dev is also doing his masterful work, right? So we should have an update soon, hopefully. I think our last stream I said probably shooting for like mid-December, so we're still on point for that. We hope to have some more information and kind of just going over an update on the evolution that the token's taking. Also want to just put this out there that we still are doing airdrops, and the way that the airdrops will work, first they will be manually. They are for current token holders. So if you hold at least 1 CCM in a wallet, once we hit 100 wallets, we will then airdrop 100 CCM. And that will continue its evolution as we go through and grow and grow and grow. So we hit 200 wallets that are holding CCM. 200 wallets are going to get 200 CCM, and so on and so on and so forth until it's just an automated process where this airdrop just continues to go and we get bigger and bigger, taking the token basically out of the project's hands and putting it into your guys's. But we need your help in getting it, the word out there so people have the token and they're working on it.
Yeah, Mark and I, we created a token, but we want to release it into the wild. We don't really want to have our hands too deep in it. We just kind of want to set it free and let it do its thing. We want go free.
Wander out there. Do your thing.
Grow on your own. We want to release it. We don't want to have any ties to it except for here at the beginning while we're helping it walk.
Now, and I'll say this, like, these airdrops aren't going to make anybody rich. At some point, they're going to stop. But as we grow and grow and grow and grow, that you should be able to expect to see that those airdrops happen. So just, if you could, do us a huge favor, as we're telling people, we're really only advertising it out to the group, and then anybody, exactly, fly my child, anybody that stumbles across this live stream or anything like that. Again, we don't have a huge following, so it's not like, this thing's just going to skyrocket in Moon or do anything. And that's not the expectation, because we're not trying to moon anything, but it also is out in the wild and we have no control over the price. So whatever happens, but we need you guys' help just to tell people, hey man, there's this new token, Polygon, buy one, whatever, and help us grow.
Yep.
But hopefully not this time next week, but maybe a little bit after, we have more updates. I'll put them in the Discord before we do another live stream like this. I'll have a new graphics card by then, so I don't look like a robot talking through the live stream. And yeah, as we grow, this thing's going to be in your guys' hands to jump, circle, or dive, dip, dodge. It's whatever. To Eris's question in the chat, we want to go back to that. I'm not, where is it?
I've been looking for it for like 5 minutes.
Oh, I thought you froze. I was like, oh man. Like, my shit's so bad that
I'm over here.
So when is CCM's L7 partially buy being released? So it's not a buy. Just to give a little bit better of an explanation of how this is really working. So the CCM token is a token that you acquire, whether that be through the airdrop or you're buying it, or however you robbed your cousin Vinny, whatever, however you got your hands on it. What it's going to allow you to do, it's like a voucher thing, right? It allows you to allot it to a timeshare of a machine. So what
it secures your place in line.
Yeah. So, your portion of it. So a timeshare, basically how that works is you pay a company some money and you get allotted, vacation days to all these different resorts and all over the place. So our resorts are basically machines, an S19, an L7, an L1, whatever it may be. And basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be getting a portion of that machine that you can collect rewards on. You can fill your whole bag with one machine if you want. At first, we really don't want you to do that. We want everybody to experience it a little bit, but going forward, you can. So CCM token is going to be purchasing the machine through the token sales that are going, or not sales, but people transferring token back and forth with each other. CCM token is going to be buying a machine from that, and then we're going to be setting it up through our utility so you can then lock your CCM into a particular machine. You'll see a picture of it, maybe our faces too. It's just, everything's kind of real. You'll have the serial number will be there so you can see it's a real machine. If the machine has a serial number or some type of barcode system, because we realize with the Black Miner, it doesn't, or the Blue Star, It's unique. So um, yeah, and you'll be getting those on chain. Like there's a lot of different utilities. Read the white paper, you'll see how it kind of is breaking down. But
I think the biggest thing is that we're missing, Mark, is just because you're contributing or you are locking yourself into a machine doesn't mean you're losing your initial capital of CCM. You're still holding that those tokens. When the contract is over that machine, those tokens are coming back to you, so you can then again relock them up. You're not sending them off and we're keeping them. No, you're using the CCM tokens as a placeholder, as a ticket holder, your golden ticket, if you will. But you get to keep that golden ticket once your contract is over. It goes right back to you, minus the transaction fees. And we're trying to figure out a way to, if you lock up for a month or for 30, 90 days, whatever it is, that the transaction back to you is going to be refunded as well. So you only have a transaction to get in, and then once you're in, you'll get all of your coins back out. But that's something, again, we're working on with the dev to make sure that all works smoothly for everybody. But we have a lot of questions. You're not just dumping your coins into a hole and never getting them back, and then you got to go buy more to lock them up again. No, you get your coins back after your contract period is done. Now that's a key takeaway. I think that we keep skating over, every time we talk about it. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we're not explaining it to the best of our ability in these live streams, and that's on us. My bad, our bad.
It's the Chuck E. Cheese approach.
Yeah, basically, right? It literally is the Chuck E. Cheese approach. Like the mining rewards are literally your tickets, and you guys can go and spend those off wherever you want to go spend them to. Get your little trinket surprises, things like that. What was I gonna say? So Closet Miner had a question on lockup period. So we're initially going to start with 90 days, but as we get this thing rolling, like longer extended periods might come out. We're going to take your guys' feedback on that. As you guys, you acquire tokens, we'll probably do some type of voting system or something along those lines to get your feedback on if you want to do 6 months, a year, like in the progression of the token, not the token, but the machines that are involved. It's going to go from, an S19, the L1, the L7, whatever the next S19 is, a What's Miner, a container. Like this is not just like one machine here, one machine there. It eventually is going to evolve into here's a machine.
DCX immersion rack, which is 8 machines.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a little bit of everything of all the products that we do or sell on the website. We're going to have something along those lines. So it's, these machines start one by one so we can test the waters and figure out how this really is going to be functioned and automated for everybody. So we're out of the picture, basically. All we got to do is just plug the machine in and put it on the website. And then as it gets bigger, it'll be one S19, and then all of a sudden it'll be, a couple S19s in the bulk, and then all of a sudden it'll be a row of S19s that are like sitting, in the farm somewhere. And like I said, eventually getting to, hey, put in for a container.
Yeah, whatever that looks like. The whole premise behind it is, as power becomes more expensive and machines become more expensive, it's getting harder for the everyday person to get involved in cryptocurrency or to experience a new machine. They're stuck buying used machines that have thousands of hours on them that need thousands of dollars of repair. This way, you're getting a machine that is newer, that is maintained for you, and you don't have the upfront cost of having to install, a 240 outlet, or have to worry about making sure you're running on a 60 amp breaker, or that you're overheating your house and your wife is yelling at you. What the hell is that noise in the garage? What's going on? We're taking care of all that for you. It's just where we're trying to create an ecosystem where you can get involved in machines and test them in your own way and figure out if you like that cryptocurrency. And if not, you get out and you jump into something else. So it's a ease of point of access that we're trying to create into the mining space.
And I know the white paper doesn't really explain this either, and I don't know if John wants me to really. Well, no, we've already talked about it, so I don't know why you would be upset. But
when do I get upset?
Yeah, right. Well, when I get us banned from voskcoin, obviously. Transparency, the full transparency on this, right? So we explain this and how we envision it working completely, right? And when we explain it, it almost sounds too good to be true, right? Like, okay, we're just acquiring these tokens and then we're putting them in this thing. We don't own a machine, but then we get to collect the benefits of the machine. Like, it's just a lot of different playing with how the hosting works. Now, the way that this is going to work is CCM token is going to be hosting machines from Coastal Crypto. So we have a rate that we charge our clients right now. That's 9 cents a kilowatt hour. These machines will be on that rate, and that's how we're benefiting from this entire project. So to be transparent, literally anybody that will be a CCM token holder, hodler, acquirer, essentially would just be a hosted customer with Coastal Crypto.
Take my money already. We're working on it. We're talking about it. We're trying to do this organically. And the biggest thing is we've seen it, we've experienced it. We know you guys have because we've heard you guys, whether it be on Discord or be in the chats here or on Twitter. There's a lot of shit coins out there and a lot of scams and a lot of bullshit that we're in a lot of hacks and a lot of cryptocurrencies are getting hacked. So our dev is very thorough. He is going through everything, the code with a fine-tooth comb. Yes, it may take us some time to make sure that things work properly, but I'd rather have it take time and come out correct than have an issue with the code down the line. And everything that he's doing at some point in time will be released on GitHub. So you can actually see the code that is being deployed and developed and being utilized. Again, capitalizing and bringing back the fact that we're trying to be as transparent as we possibly can. We are not hiding anything about this coin from anybody. The whole code, everything will be on GitHub once we do our main launch. And then that was something that the dev was very adamant about, that he wants to make sure that this project, because he's so passionate about it, gets put out there for other people to see and to make sure that trust is built, and we can keep pushing forward with it. Yes, Closet Miner, only one dev right now, but he is very, very good.
Yes, he is. He also asked kind of percentage of ownership of the machine without owning anything. We share the rewards based on percentage of the machine of CCM. Yeah. So yeah, you're not going to own anything and you're going to like it. Literally the world order right there, right in our white paper. How hilarious. And then Closet Miner. So the percentage, it's going to be a percentage, and because we can't control the price of the machine, so the question is how many CCM per machine. We don't have a set number. So we are thinking that we're going to start off at 10% increments, and that's going to be based off the value of the machine, and that's going to be retail value. So $2,500 machine, you go in, acquire some CCM token, make sure it's 10% of whatever that is, and then you put it into the machine and lock it in for the extended period of time, which we're going to walk everybody through this whole process of how to do the contract and things like that once it's ready to be deployed and things like that. The next step for the token right now is we're going to be launching a IPFS website for it, so it's its own thing, and then we are going to what was I going to say? IPF. Oh, we're going to show the roadmap, and that kind of will break out what stages all this is going to be really happening, and when we're going to launch our first utility of everything and things like that. The goal right now is to get 100 active wallets. If we can do that, we can do one of our first main priorities, which is that airdrop, and we can continue doing that. So if you guys could just help us get the word out, that would be amazing. And then, yeah, from there. And don't hesitate to, like, in the chat box right now, you guys are asking all these questions. And saying, statements of, what you like or don't like about particular things. You can always hit us up on Twitter. The Discord is the best place to find the most current and up-to-date information, because as soon as I know an update on the token, whether it's something that we did specifically for it or the dev is helping or giving us some time frame or something, then at that point, I put it into the Discord before we have these conversations here on the live streams.
Here's a good one from Gandalf.
Have you gotten any thought to the stake to own idea, where after a while, when you have enough to just buy a machine but keep it there? I like this idea. We would just have to figure out how that looks and works.
I honestly don't think that would be difficult to implement. It would just be an additional contract on top of what we were already planning to launch with the locking of a coin. It would just be an additional step. Once you reach a certain percentage, say 95%, you'll have the option to potentially buy out the rights to the machine. And, I guess then at that point, the value would be subtracted from the CCM token for the machine. You get the remaining balance and you have access to the machine, and another one goes online for the community.
I'm trying to copy and paste his comment. So I want to take that for afterthought. Definitely what's going to transpire is as soon as we launch the first iteration of utility for this, where you guys can allot your tokens, put it in a machine, things like that. We're going to be starting to ask for more feedback from the community, what you want, and things like that. Put it in voting protocols, in doing things like that. And essentially, everybody that's a part of the community is making a decision as to what they want to see next, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's good and that's bad. So people are going to be doing proposals, right? And, that proposal may not favor everybody, but we're going to be voting on it. And some people may or may not like whatever that transpires. But that's the joy. No, I don't know. That's just, DeFi in itself, right? That's the great thing about DeFi is everybody's making a decentralized decision on something, and we're all growing together. So hopefully this doesn't turn out like Solana and it'd be shit, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Crypto Ape never got a shirt.
Rude.
Well, we'll get you a Coastal Crypto shirt with the new logo. I think you actually were looking at a side hustle shirt, weren't you, back before we were Coastal Crypto, if I remember correctly? But we'll get you a Coastal Crypto shirt with the new logo on it. Wait, there we go. New logo. It's actually embroidered. It's not printed. It's an embroidered patch. It's nice. It's nice. I like it. Have to get that to you. Sorry, my friend. Go ahead. Let Gandalf go.
Yeah. So the fluctuations of these miners, if you stake 10% of the value, but the cost goes up exponentially during the next bull run, does that not take effect till the next staking period?
So the value of the machine will be locked in at the time of purchase. The machine value doesn't change.
So that's the beauty of this, right? So if the token is buying a machine, we're going to be listing it at what they purchased it for. Now, obviously, prices fluctuate as time goes on, and you got a bull run and a bear run, or bear market, whatever the fuck you want to call them, up and down, right? We got down. That we'll have to figure out how that kind of works, because like right now, us launching this during a bear market, it's gonna be really beneficial for those that are getting in here right at the beginning, right? You're getting into a machine, you're like, forget it, I'm just gonna keep locking in my 90 days or whatever we take a period out for, and collecting those rewards, and then all of a sudden the bull run's gonna hit, and then all of a sudden, your coin becomes substantially worth more than it was when you were mining at the very beginning of this, and the machine itself now has increased in value, and there's just a lot of things are going to change. So we'll have to play that one by ear, or maybe just give that one a little bit more thought as we get into. But basically, as the token buys more machines, we're going to be listing them at whatever they bought them for, retail wise.
At the time, I mean, there could be something written in for, say, for example, we buy an S19 now at 2,500, and in 6 months the price is now $5,000 for an S19. There could be some clause written in where we average the two prices together to get a common ground, so people don't feel left out. But that'll just be kind of a racing game to get to that S19 that came in at a lower price, even though that S19 is going to be older. So you're going to have to figure out, a balancing act on where you want to be with the equipment. So there's implementations and things that we can put in down the line as we see this progress that will help kind of lessen the effect of the overall cost of the machine.
Yeah, actually, you bring that up because we have had conversations briefly, not really specifically geared towards like prices fluctuating on the machines. But no, there are some things that we have already taken in consideration of the next lockup period and things like that. So as we start to develop the contract itself, we'll kind of figure out how that plays out for like the next stage of the contract, which would be you either relocking or moving on with your life. And we'll see what that kind of looks like in trying to figure that out. Our biggest goal right now is to launch the first utility. And then as we progress and let the community take over a little bit more, that's where that's where we'll start to see like the difference of all the, what the future holds with the token. All right. So there, I'll just put this question on the screen. So if I purchase, say, 2,500 in CCM, are we ready to start the lockup? As of right this second, no. But we don't control price, right? And we don't know what the price will be by the time we actually lock up. We're hopeful that it will stay where it's at, which is what is it? 7/10 of a penny. 7/10 of a penny is kind of where it's at. Okay, so hopefully it stays stable at that. It's been doing a very good job at staying around that area, but essentially we'll be giving everybody more than enough notice. Like, hey, it's coming. Like, you get in the Discord channel to be the most up to date. But as we launch these videos, do these lives, we'll be telling everybody, hey, it's coming. We expect it around here. Everybody can start, getting everything up and running. Right this second, the goal is basically to expand our wallet holders. We want to get to 100. And so as long as you hold one, you guys can be a part of the first airdrop that we do. And as we stated earlier, we move to 200, 100, 100 CCM to all 100 wallets. I'm going to be doing that manually until we set this automated system up to do this automatically. But then, we hit 200 wallet holders, 200 CCM for everybody. So just for any wallet holder. And the only requirement is you have to hold 1 CCM. So that's the big thing right now. Once we get to the next stage, we'll give you some more detail as to, okay, what does it look like when you're putting in the big money, things like that. But if you want to get ahead of the game and you want to, dive in fully with that $2,500, feel free to. I will be very transparent. We are going to put that right onto a DeFi exchange for liquidity purposes, just so as more people go to acquire the token, the liquidity is there for more trading.
Yeah, we're rolling it over. So we're on the if you haven't picked up on it, we're on the Polygon network. We like Polygon. We support Polygon. We think it's been phenomenal so far building our coin on it. We feel like we've made a great choice launching it with Polygon. And if you go to our website right now, here, look, let's make it easy. Let's do this real quick. We'll make it easy. We can cut this out and use it. Let's go like this. Here we go. So here's our site, coastalcryptomining.com/CCM token. So the white paper is changing. This is a constantly adapting white paper. There have already been changes made to it. Eventually, this will all be moved to its own IFPS Web3 site. The reason we're doing that is so that Coastal Crypto token, at some point in the future, hopefully sooner rather than later, it will be its own autonomous thing. And we're just going to be turning on machines for it. So as we scroll through it, if you scroll down, I'm not in Google Chrome right now. I don't have the extension in this web browser. But you can connect a Brave browser, MetaMask wallet, Trust wallet, and it's just add your wallet. How many Matic do you want to send? Buy, scan the QR code, good to go. We try to make it as simple as we possibly can. It looks down and dirty because it is down and dirty. The dev is working on
Yeah.
The dev is working on all the fancy stuffs for us. He's making it look all pretty and nice and neat. But if you want to get in now to get and be a part of the airdrop, this is one way of doing it. Bam.
So if I recall, we have had a high of 35 holders, and right now we're at roughly about 32. So the question was, how many wallet holders are there now? So we're only about 70 away, less than 70. Again, we're not a big community, man. That's why
we're not actively pushing this.
Yeah, we're also not actively pushing it. So we are taking it slow, specifically for a reason. But once the utility is launched, we will be. You guys will see the roadmap within the coming weeks. You'll see the roadmap itself and where we're going to be taking marketing, things like that. So that when we launch utility, there'll be enough room for like our following, as long as this doesn't spread like wildfire before then. There'll be enough room for everybody to take part and test and see how this works. And then as you guys see the roadmap here, like I said, in the coming week or weeks, you'll see that marketing is just a complete afterthought until sometime next year. Like, it's not even the only reason, again, we're trying to grow the wallets right now, get the word out. I want to show that we can do one piece of this, and that's that airdrop. So if we can hit 100 wallets, that would be amazing. And we're just asking you guys to just put the word out there.
Yeah. What else we got before we go? Any more questions? Everyone gets equal. Here. Did you just answer this? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I actually answered it multiple times, but yes. So one CCM gets you 100 when we hit 100, as long as you continually hold 1 CCM.
Right. And you're still subject to the next airdrop and the next airdrop and the next airdrop.
Yeah,
it doesn't skip over you. You get every airdrop. So the sooner you get in, the more airdrops you can be a part of.
Exactly. And so the only reason we want more people, more wallets, I should say, involved is basically just to start the trading, right? Get the DeFi exchange, active a little bit, and rolling, and then from there, we drop our utility, things like that, and everybody sees, what the project's value really is.
I think that's it. I think we covered a crap ton today.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Again, guys, thanks for checking out the stream. We will do our best to kind of chop this up, so if you missed it, you don't have to sit through the whole hour and a half of it. You can catch the highlights, but make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We try to go live at least once a week, if not every other week, to kind of keep you guys informed of what's going on, and let you guys know how we're changing things up and what's in store for Coastal Crypto and CCMT. Oh, Gordon's got one last question.
Oh,
Gandalf, Gordon.
sorry, I missed the banning by Vosk. So what? Oh, so he said, is there a max supply? So yes, in meme coin fashion, it's 42,069,000,000 is the total max supply. We already realized the second we launched the token that was more than likely a huge mistake, and we are looking at ways to reduce the supply as we go on. So yeah, we'll be kind of playing. Once we have that figured out, we'll disclose it all to you guys. Things that are on the table for that particular burn, that's like the big number one. Secondly, some additional utility that basically removes the token out of the aspect. Then we have, what was the other one? There was one more that we had. Yeah. Well, once I figure it out, I can respond directly to it. But basically, yes, we realize that the amount of tokens is a lot in the broad picture of things. But we're trying to add other utilities more than just what we're doing with the machines. So there's going to be some games and some things, like nothing crazy. Like we're not doing like a metaverse and whatever with your goggles and whatever the hell they're doing in Web3. Just some fun stuff.
Web 4. We're Web 4.
Yeah. Web 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever. No, just some fun little things just to keep the token moving and things like that. So that there will be some other avenues to where like we can get rid of some of the token as people are utilizing it in some way, fashion, shape, form, things like that. The goal is the token itself is out to the community. Like me and John, we're buying the token out of our own pockets, just like you guys are, if we're gonna acquiring it, I should say. So like the token itself, the wallet, the contract, that all the tokens sitting in. Yeah, I mean everything has been outright purchased. I don't want to say acquired thing. I'm trying to escape words that the SEC will bother us about later.
They always listen. Everybody's listening.
Yeah.
But all right, I think that's it, man. Before we get any more questions, got one more closet miner. Once low, you can always up the max like Zilcash. Yeah, I don't think we'll have that issue. I think we have enough there. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We were live on Twitter and on Odyssey, so you can check us out there. If you haven't checked out Odyssey yet, make sure you do so, especially if you're in the crypto space and you want to support library. That's definitely one to check out. Again, check out Discord, ask us questions, voice your concerns, and if you have any ideas that you'd like to see for coastal crypto mining or CCMT, let us know. Until next time, guys, we appreciate you, and have a good one.